If you've been playing chess for a few months, you've likely encountered the famous fried liver attack quite a lot. To counter this attack, one popular move that works well is knight to d4. Often, players who are unfamiliar with this response may play knight takes d5, falling for the fried liver sacrifice, knight takes d5, followed by queen to f3, posing a serious threat to black. On the other hand, more knowledgeable players might try to push back the bishop by playing pawn to a5. However, the move with the highest win rate for black in this situation is knight to d4, which is less commonly known, but very effective. After you play knight to d4, there are two obvious options for white to consider. One option is for white to persist in the idea of trying to reach the epsilon pawn, probably referring to the e6 pawn, by realizing that the diagonal is currently blocked by the pawn on d5. White may think that all they need to do is push the pawn forward, renewing the threat on black's position. After playing knight to d4, one common response from white, especially from players rated below 1700, is to capture the pawn on d6 with the queen. However, there is a powerful counter for black in this position. If white takes the pawn with the knight instead, knight takes d6, they can fork the black queen and rook, which is even stronger for white. But black has a clever move, queen to c6, which changes the situation entirely. From c6, the black queen attacks the white bishop, which cannot move away since it needs to guard the knight. Additionally, the black queen also counters the g2 pawn, creating an uncomfortable position for white. White may decide to capture the rook on h8 since they seemingly have no better options. Then black plays queen takes g2, attacking the rook on f1 and threatening queen takes h1 checkmate. White will likely play rook to f1 to defend against the checkmate, and then black responds by sliding the queen back to e4, delivering a check to the white king. The knight on d4 covers the escape square e2 for the white king. If white covers the escape square with a bishop or another piece, thinking they are safe, black can execute a beautiful smother checkmate with knight to r3. In another possible variation, some opponents may choose to play d3 to solidify their position. But regardless of white's response, black can continue with the same move, queen takes g2, attacking the rook on f1. However, in this case, black cannot play queen to e4 check, as it is now controlled by the white pawn on d3. Another way to deliver a strong attack for black is to play bishop to g4, targeting white's queen. The queen only has one square to go, which is queen to d2. However, this move fails to knight to f3, a powerful fork attacking both the white king and queen. If the king moves, black often wins the white queen, securing a significant advantage. But there's an even stronger move for black in this position, and this will be our puzzle for today. The winning move for black is not knight takes d2, as one might think, but instead, there is another move that leads to a decisive advantage. If you can find this move, please write it down in the comments below. Moving on to another variation, if white plays bishop takes f7, trying to win a pawn, black can respond with king to e7. In this situation, white's minor pieces are somewhat shaky, and black can start creating threats with moves like h6 to kick the knight away. Overall, white's position is underdeveloped, while black already has some active threats. If white plays bishop to b3 to avoid being captured, black can trade off the bishops. White has very few active pieces, and black can continue to chase the knight away with moves like h6 and e4, creating a passive and uncomfortable position for the white knight. Often, white will blunder and play some random move, allowing black to play g5 and win the white knight since the knight has nowhere to go. However, it's important to be cautious, as some opponents might try to provide an escape square for the knight. In one example, white played g3 after seeing the threat and giving the knight an escape square. But after g5 and knight to g2, black could play bishop to g4, trapping the white queen and leading to a victory for black. In this game against Bobby Fischer, Black employed the variation we discussed earlier to counter the fried liver attack. Fischer played the move pawn to c3, avoiding the trap with d6 that would have failed for white. Black then played pawn to b5, sacrificing the knight to initiate a counterattack. Fischer responded with an interesting move, bishop to f1, aiming to grab the pawn on b5 after Black's knight moves away. But Black had another surprise in store. Instead of retreating the knight, they played knight takes d5, seemingly blundering a knight, but, in fact, setting up a strong attack. After Fischer captured the knight, queen takes g5, after White's bishop can indeed take the pawn on g5 and chase the Black king, it may appear advantageous for White. However, Black still holds a powerful attack here. Although king to d8 seems like Black's king is centralized and vulnerable, it's essential to recognize that White's king is weak as well, possibly even more so. In many cases, White would choose to castle to defend the pawn on g2. In the game, Bobby Fischer played another move, queen to f3, aiming to control the g2 square and the diagonal. In most instances, Black's opponents will likely castle, and then took the pawn on d4. Fischer played queen takes f7, hoping for a checkmate or a strong position. However, Black's modest move knight to f6 turned out to be highly effective. It opened up the diagonals, threatening queen takes g2, and also created a threat against White's queen with a potential bishop to d5. Fischer resigned because he realized that after knight f6, he couldn't prevent the impending threats, and Black's attack was too strong. This game demonstrates that even a strong player like Bobby Fischer could be caught off guard by unexpected moves and aggressive counterattacks in the fried liver attack. It's essential to recognize that chess is not just about aggressive gambits and opening traps. Strategy and overall understanding of the game play a crucial role in becoming a strong player. So while these tactical variations can be powerful tools, a well-rounded understanding of chess principles is equally important. If you successfully trap your opponent using these tactics, feel free to share your games in the comments section below. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe to stay updated with future videos. Take a moment to check out the other videos appearing on your screen right now. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Take care and peace.